Hi everybody. Thank you very much for joining me this evening in Greece. This morning, I think, on the Pacific coast. I wanted to do a video because many of you have asked to talk a little more about channeling. So I'm going to say a few things about it in my experience so far. And I'm going to try to resist the deep desire to connect with each one of you coming online. Hello, Northern California. Lots of you in California, good morning to you. So, all right. Welcome to all of you who are joining from around the world. Thank you. So what is channeling? There's ever such a lot of reactiveness to this word. I think this word has got a lot of connotations to it that make it seem sort of very weird, very strange. And really, in my experience of the last almost 2.5 years of growing and unfolding with channeling every day, I'm seeing that it is something that is not out there, but it's something that's inside of you. And I'm reminded of this beautiful quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson, who says that what lies behind you and what lies in front of you pales into comparison as to what lies inside of you. And what I feel that means, at least the way I interpret that, is that I've always been looking at the past and what I've done and maybe some regrets and things that I shouldn't have done, could have done better. Or I'm looking to the future, what's ahead of me, where I think I can improve and do something else and find joy or pleasure or something more in the future, and always being pulled by these two energies of past and future, instead of being inside of my body now. And if the one thing that the channeling has opened me up to, it's quite contrary from what I used to read about channeling. And what I understood about it was that it took you out of your body. And for me, it's done precisely the opposite. It's brought me into the physical body, inside, rather than outside. My education was very much concerned with learning from the outside. Teachers who knew better than me used to teach me lots of information. And whilst that can be certainly useful if you want to learn French or a language, everything was focused on getting things from the external level, and education and having other people impart something to you. And really, what the channeling has shown me is that inside of you now, you can access everything that you need to make you happy, joyful, satisfied, contented. And it's not someplace in the future. This was an amazing revelation, and still is. Big hugs to all of you coming online. I want to hug you all. I really do. And I'm trying not to get distracted and at the same time I just want to welcome you all. I want you to feel that we are a family and that together, in this vibratory field together, we can create some magic. And it doesn't have to be so difficult. I can only speak for myself here, but I made life very difficult, very complex. Lots of problems. And then there was always another one and another one and another one. And it wasn't until I got completely desperate, just at the end of my tether, when I felt I had to surrender, to give in, to stop resisting life because I was resisting everything, and to open up to all of life. And this is what I feel the channeling can do. And maybe the word is a word that is a little off-putting, or it's kind of pigeonholing something. And surrender has a scary connotation. Thank you for saying that, Michelle Rowe. Hello, Michelle. Because it's often connotation with, for example, you've got to surrender your passport. You've got to surrender your freedom. You've got to surrender to somebody else's force. And what if you're just surrendering to the intelligence that lies inside of you, that's never really been brought out? I'm just going to share my personal experience, because that's all I really can do, in the hope that it may help you on your journey with this unfolding to this new consciousness, aliveness that is happening on our earth. I'm sure it's happening, because I don't think anybody wants to repeat more wars, more people getting killed, more people just fighting one another, when we know instinctively inside that there's something so much more. And what I feel the channeling does is it takes you on the inner level. So I've never done yoga in my life. I took 1 or 2 lessons donkey's years ago, and I hated it because I couldn't stretch, couldn't even reach my knees, let alone my toes. And I've never learned ballet. And since opening to the channeling, I find myself in what I'm being told by other people are advanced yoga positions and some interesting ballet positions, none of which I've ever learned. And channeling takes you, and again, I think we're going to have to find a different word for that. Maybe we can ask the Pleaidians a little while on, whether there's another word we can use that doesn't have all kinds of woo-woo, out of the body type of energy to it, because I feel this is inside the body. So you can be learning something new. Somebody's sharing now. Hello, you're learning the piano. You can tune in to the energy, for example, of Beethoven, or the energy of a pianist that you greatly admire and listen to, and ask for that energy to come through you. There are people who are able to speak in tongues, who've never learned a language logically, and yet they can tune in and connect with something on a wider vibratory field. And I think that the channeling opens you, or has done for me. Thank you, gracious love. To more possibility. And the more that you're open to, the more perspectives, different people's opinions, people who think I should just stick to the astrology and not bother with the channeling. And all those things, it's just another perspective. It's just a viewpoint, and it's okay. So, I think we're at a stage in human development, because if this can happen to somebody very normal like me, you know, normal, so-called, if anybody's normal, I don't think any of us are normal, are we? Let's face it. We try to be normal, but I recognize, I mean, right now, I'm sitting quite still, but if you were with me daily now, you would see that if I allow this intelligence, I'm just going to call it an intelligence. I call it the Pleaidians because that's who they call themselves, and they are an intelligence of love and joy, and anything that any of you, if you want, can tune into. If you want. It's never something that is forced. It's something you surrender into and you enjoy. So, I think channeling is opening up to a full respect of everything that is around you and that everything has meaning. I never realized before, I used to think that there were inanimate objects, you know, the chair, the lamp, the carpet, the painting. And yet physicists will tell you that they are alive. Not in the same way that we see life, and yet they are alive. And we are all channeling now, some of you are saying, some of you saying we are, question mark. Well, you're channeling an intelligence that keeps your body going. If you had to remember to breathe, you might forget. I know I would. Channeling's enabled me to release fear. I've lived a lifetime of complete fear. Afraid of this, afraid of that, afraid of getting sick, afraid of getting well, afraid of appearing in public, afraid of doing something stupid, afraid of not being loved. And so, these are just some thoughts that have been swirling around. I can only tell you that my readings have become more focused, better, that I'm connecting with people more than ever. I wake up joyful, singing sometimes. And I'm so grateful to have you with me online. Because I was a little nervous doing this video, and I have to say I was encouraged to do it. Not forced, but encouraged. Yes, it's like letting the sun shine through you and not allowing all those clouds and rain to keep accumulating. And don't get me wrong, do I not get angry and irritated? Yes, I do. The difference is now that I am willing to feel it and to observe it and to have it. And then it goes. So, I'm sort of feeling as though it's time to maybe bring in the Pleaidians. And so I'm going to offer to you now, are there any questions that you'd like to ask? Anything important, anything burning to you that you'd like to ask? You see, this is an area that is more difficult to give real focus to, because channeling is something that you allow to evolve. It's happened with paintings. I've never painted in my life. And since opening to the channeling, I'm just painting. I did study music, but the music now is much more profound and more joyful and more in the moment. So I'm being asked a few questions here, quite a lot. Okay, so people are saying that they've been trying to channel, been blocked. Why? That's a good question. How to trust your guidance. That's another good question. Gosh, you've got a lot of good questions. So I'm going to take one at a time, and we'll bring in the Pleaidians and we'll see what happens, all right? Now I do feel a little nervous, and that's okay. Oh, we are thrilled to be with you all today. What a delight it is. And Barbara's feeling a little uncomfortable, but that's all right. She'll settle in a few moments. Because many of you have got important questions that we wish to address with you, and we are finding that more and more are interested in this, because shifting energies are happening now that are enabling more people to access more information more easily. So it's going to get easier for you. So are you being blocked from channeling? Well, nobody is blocked from channeling. And channeling just is an opening of your chakras. This is all it is. It's the opening of all of the chakras in the body. You understand those 7 chakras? There are in fact more chakras, but these are the 7 that we're working with for right now that most people understand. And the main thing is that you want to center yourself. There has to be a centering, coming back to center. You know how you're in the center of something, you're balanced, you're not being pushed one way or another, you're right in the center. So start with finding your center. You may want to now sit straight as you are able, or lie flat. That's it, beautiful. Some of you are joining in, we can see you. We can. It's so much fun being with you all, so much fun. So it's important just to become centered. And what does centered mean? It means just being, enjoying the fact that you are a living being. That's it, you're being. You're just being here, right now with Barbara, with us. That's it. That's it, just be. And some of you have asked about how to know if it's safe. Yes, many people are frightened about this. And there's a lot of fear again you see around on the planet, you know. Anything to stop people really from getting centered. Because once you're centered, you're strong. You're powerful. You're in alignment with the power of the aliveness that is within you. So often you're pulled off center. Yes, a message, people calling you over here, over there, this, that, the other, and you're pulled and pushed and all over the place. And it's the most important thing is to be centered. And this is where we would start. Just allow yourself to get centered. Say to yourself, I want to be centered in my greatness. Aha. And really, it's just about allowing yourself to be. Right here, right here, right here, right here, now. That's it. So we're bringing Barbara back and we want to see how you're getting on. Now, oh, there's a sound problem. Did the sound go weird? She's back. So you see, it's it's not as though somebody else is talking through me. It's just bringing in a different frequency. Okay, there's a lot of sound issues here. Some are saying it's fine. So, I'm going to take a sip of water. Think of your questions. Okay. So, people saying, I don't have a question here. All right, so are you safe? All right, I think this is a big one. So I'm going to bring in about this issue around safety. Am I conscious when I'm channeling? Yes, I am conscious. How do I feel while channeling? I feel great. How can you become centered? Let's deal with the safety issue. I'll bring the peas in. Well, yes, so the safety. People are frightened when they go into maybe a different consciousness level as to whether it's safe or not. Well, you think it's safe crossing a road, do you, today, in today's traffic? You think it's safe doing half of the things that you do in your life? Well, this is so much safer, you have no idea, than all the things that you expose yourself to, radiation and all kinds of things that go on in your world today that are extremely unsafe. And then you worry about little things like this, which is the most important thing that you can tune into, which is your inner self. What is your inner self asking for? And then listen and be quiet and allow to come in whatever needs to come in. Now, how can you access channeling? You can access your centeredness through many different routes. One is certainly through being quiet for 15 seconds here and there and everywhere. Little bits. We wouldn't do it in long periods. Most people cannot do a long period of being quiet. It's almost impossible for most, not all. Of course, there are some of you listening who are good meditators, we know. But most of you don't have the attention span of a gnat. So it's going to take quite a bit of focusing in here. So even if you can do it just with us here and now, to be peaceful right now, right here, right now with us. Don't think of any other questions that you've got in your mind. Are you getting married? Are you meeting somebody new? Is your work going to happen? Are you going to get more money? All of those things. Just drop all that in a rucksack by your bed. Just drop it down. Put it down. That's it. Put them all down. All those little concerns. That's it. There we are. That's it. It's as simple as that. But for those of you who really did that, for 1 or 2 seconds, you were free of it. Just free of it for 1 or 2 or 3 seconds. That's all it takes, you see, is just to get a sense of what it feels like to be free of all those thinkings of what will happen and why isn't it happening and why isn't this happening, what's going on here and hasn't she called me and when's he going to do this and so on and so on and so on. It's endless, of course, and very unproductive. So many of you are going to be accessing this state through reading. Often you can read something and then suddenly find, that's taking me to a different dimension. That's taking me somewhere else. So books are good. Reading is good. Writing is good. For many of you, writing is a great way of connecting. Use your non-dominant hand and allow yourself to release your arm to an intelligence or a frequency that is for your highest and for your best. That's all you've got to ask for. Ask for your highest and your best and for love frequency and light frequency to be coming into you. And that's all you've got to ask for. And you're completely safe. completely. There's nothing to be afraid of, not from us anyway. We're only here to enjoy and to have fun with you and to bring out the very best in each one of you, because each one of you has got that beautiful sense of aliveness that is longing to come out and to be expressed. And then you'll find your way in life becomes so simple and so easy. All the things that look so complex become so easy. And that's why we're here, to help you to lead easier and more joyful lives. That's really why we've come to help here, and that's why you're noticing a difference in Barbara, because we're working on her intensely, and we're working with many of you. Those who want it can, we'll work with you too. You just have to ask us. So we're going to bring her back and see whether you're still with us. She's worrying about that. We're not worried. But we'll bring Barbara back now, and we'll see what else you'd like to ask us. But we're very grateful that you are staying with us. Many of you are really staying with us here, and this is wonderful because it's opening your channel here. As you stay with these new frequencies, you open something inside of you. There will be changes in your lives as a result of this today. Watch out in many wonderful ways. Just watch out for little things, teeny weeny things. Don't look for the biggie things. Don't look for the big O's, look for the little O's. Yeah. Well, thank you for still being here. So many of you asking about communicating with plants and animals. I think I'm going to cover that in another video. What I'm going to ask you to do is, I've got a community page on YouTube, and you can ask questions, and I'm going to just put together a list of questions and address them in future videos. And thank you. Some of you said you felt those few seconds. Thank you. I wanted to just give you a little taste here. It's been a longer taste than I anticipated, almost a half hour. So thank you very, very, very much for joining me, and the peas, who are delighted to have been with you. Grinning all over their chops they are. So thank you very much, and sending you much love.